Hi everyone, this is Shirley Joy Weiss, and I'm sitting here on a Wednesday night having had a very amusing exchange that I just wanted to share with all you because it was just a lot of fun. And I think also very telling, a very important tale to tell. And so I had a friend ask me, hey, haven't spoken to you in a while, how are you doing? I know you were, going through some structural changes with your work and all this stuff was happening with your family and all this stuff, what to her seemed like a lot of stress and insecurity, space of insecurity. And I'm human and I'm not going to lie, I definitely had my moments of just like, it was a very full summer where I got definitely tested in my limits and in my spiritual maturity. But so, she was really asking like, how are you from this place of concern? And I said, I'm great. I'm actually awesome. I'm wonderful. Oh, great. Did you figure out, the structural changes in your business that you want needing to make? No, I didn't. Okay. And the family stuff, did that change? Nope, that didn't either. Oh, and did you finally move back to the city you wanted to move back? Nope. Oh, and are you dating anyone? Nope. Absolutely nothing has changed. And there's all these circumstances in my life that, at one point in my life, I really would have wanted them to change, or I would be in fear. I had some programs lined up in my business this fall set up that I was going to launch, and I just got the intuition that I was no longer aligned, at least now, to launch them. So I put them aside. And so she's like, well, how are you going to make money? I'm like, I have no idea. That was the income projections that I had for the fall and the service that I wanted to do. Well, what are you going to do? I'm like, I don't know. Are you scared? No, and yes, my bank account, I see it going down, right? But I'm not scared. Here's the thing. This is what I needed to explain and share. I don't know, so I don't know what's happening, with my business right now. I'm waiting for the clarity to emerge. I'm not going to act impulsively. But what is going on in my business has nothing to do with who I am. So let me really clarify that. What I have going on in my business, what is coming in to my bank account or not, has nothing to do with who I am. And what I mean by that is this. The essence of who I am, the spiritual essence I am, who I am at the core, before this body, after this body, before any experiences I've had, after any experiences I've had, before any degrees, certificates, accomplishments, and after. The one that is constant, always there, eternal, that quintessential essence in me is perfection, is wholeness. And said in a more simple way that our mind can actually grasp, because a lot of people, especially in spirituality and New Age circles, oh, you're perfect, you're whole, you're divine, but our human brain's like, what does not compute, right? So said in a simpler way that we can grasp, who I am at my essence is okay. Meaning the state of okay. Meaning the state of well-being. I'm just well. Have you ever noticed that you can have a very stressful day and you go to walk on the beach or you go on a hike and you actually manage? Because sometimes we can go on a walk and we bring the stress with us and the walk doesn't help, right? But we manage to let the stress go. We manage to actually surrender and give ourselves to the walk, to the beach, to the sunset, whatever it is. And then suddenly you just kind of feel good again. You're just relaxed. I'm going to be like in ecstasy or anything like that, but you're just, wow, There's just kind of like a subtle sense of okayness. And you attribute it naively to the beach, to the hike, to the walk. And it seems like you did that because those two things coincided. You went to the beach and you felt better. So we tend to make innocent associations that are actually not based in reality. What happened is that what was actually causing you dis-ease, lack of ease, stress, insecurity, which seems like it was whatever happened at work or with your family or whatever that was stressful. It wasn't that. It was thinking. It was like all this heavy, worrisome, cyclical, stale, limiting, funky thinking. And what we think we experience. And so when you went to the beach, you let go of what was creating the situation of stress. The experience, the fleeting temporary experience of stress. It's not who you are. It's not reality even. It's just an internally generated experience based on your thinking. And so as soon as you let go of the always fleeting thoughts, who you are comes back to the surface of experience again. The wellness you always are comes back. But that's not all. That's just where it begins to get good, to know that you're not all the fleeting experiences. You're the wellness beforehand. And it just takes a split second to just let go of whatever was creating strife and insecurity. And you can tune in and feel the wellness you're already, right? So it's an affirmation of who you truly are. This is how we really, in a felt way, come to know ourselves. But that's not all. We are one with the universal intelligence that is creating that very sunset and keeps this thing beating. It's like a miracle, right? How does this happen? What is this life force energy? It's one with something. And even physics have shown us that we're actually not solid. We appear to be solid. We are one with this universal mind. And all of life is just this universal mind. All of life is thought. When we are swimming in a sea of thought, we are thought. And we are connected to this wisdom. We are this wisdom in individual form. And as soon as I let go of icky, sticky, stress-producing thinking that is just really old, habitual, familiar thinking. It sounds really right. It sounds really important. It sounds really personal. It sounds really helpful. It sounds really useful. It sounds really right. All the different variations of it. As soon as I let go of that, the consciousness I am, the vessel, the stage of my consciousness where I transmit information, receiver and transmitter. Our consciousness, our brain, is one of the most powerful transmitters and generators and receivers, right? But as soon as I let go of my old habitual thinking, I know the way things are and they're sucky, a new thought from this infinite well of infinitely greater wisdom than me seeps in. The universe absorbs the vacuum. We will never not be thinking. Don't think that meditation is to quiet the mind. That's actually quite impossible. We can grow to have a quieter mind, but the foundation of our experience of life is constant thought. Thought is what brings experience to life. Without thought, we're not. I think, therefore, I am. I think it was Descartes who said that. And that's what happens. So here's the exciting part. The more I'm relaxed in the face of uncertainty, in the face of the unknown, the more wisdom can come in and guide me in the moment. And I've done that enough now that I just trust in it. That I am guided every step of the way exactly as I need to be. And when the clarity needs to come about my next program, that will come. And I've always been supported in some way. We are the infinite supply of abundance in our lives. not a bank account, not a job. It's that creative capacity that I'm basically referring to. We are the infinite supply, not a job. There's no such thing as job security, and the job is not what's providing for you. Economy is not providing for you. And definitely don't listen to some candidates that say they're going to solve your problems. How did that work out? I was just about to go into a tangent about politics, so I had to stop myself. We are the supply. Our creative capacity to innovate and create is infinite. And we actually stagnate our creative capacity when we think we know. And what we think we know is just actually us ruminating on the past, ruminating on all thoughts, ruminating on what we've seen. What we've seen is not all. What we've seen is so not all. If what we've seen is all, how are we on a computer right now? At some point, someone had to come up with this idea. And those of us of my generation remember life pre, the web, post the web, and life pre-computers, I remember I got my first email account when I was in college. I was like, what is this thing? We didn't even really know. I didn't have a personal computer. People didn't really have personal computers. That was rare. Someone had to come up with that idea, and we take that for granted. This phone, this pen, remember feathers dipped in ink? Someone had to come up with this vessel, and we take it for granted. So if they went just by what they saw, all of us would still be writing with feathers. But most of us don't get how life really works and creativity really works. And so I'm just really relaxed. I'm really relaxed, A, because I know I'll be guided, and B, because I get my experience. It has nothing to do with what's happening in my life. A man is not the source of my happiness. A bank account is not the source of my security. The experience of happiness, the experience of security is something internally generated. And so if I choose to ruminate on thoughts of anxiety, worry, and insecurity, that's going to be my experience in life. And there was a point in my life where if I didn't have everything lined up and I wasn't feeling in control about the trajectory of my business or my path, whatever, I would be freaking out and I would be depressed and funked out. And my friend would have called me and she would have been like, how are you? And I'm just like, I need to talk. I need to vent. And I would actually build it because I'm actually paying attention to the negative thinking. We are the creators of our moment-to-moment experience. And we are one with the greatest source. Period. And the more we sink into that, the less we'll give attention to thoughts that make us feel icky. The more quickly we'll bounce out of them. Just the thought. And the more I relax in faith, seeing how miraculously and beautifully I am always guided. I'm not so much a Course in Miracles student, but I did delve into it in my years and a bit. And the Course in Miracles basically explains that a miracle is just a shift in perception. And I definitely agree in that term, that phrase can actually be explained in several different ways. But one of the ways that I love to explain it is it's just what we're talking about. Your infinite capacity to just have a new thought in the moment. The infinite capacity to wake up out of a perceived, right? It's at a shift in perception, a perceived limitation, which is then what you're going to experience. You are the creator of your reality, your moment-to-moment reality. And shift out of that low consciousness, limited perception that gets you to only see one path into a higher perception where you realize life is constant, endless probability. That is one of the hugest constants that physicists have proclaimed about the universe, that it's endless probability. Like possibility into the infinite. And so one thing is clear with that. If we look at what science is telling us, is that if I only see one way, I'm going against the laws of nature. And that's when we struggle, when we don't act in reality and we think we know better, or we're acting in our heads. Basically, it's the simplest way of saying it. And so I'm acting against reality. I'm acting against nature. And if you act against nature, things aren't going to work out, right? If I don't think gravity works and I think I'm going to throw my phone because it's just going to float up in the air, I'm going to struggle with that. Nature, reality is going to show me otherwise. It's not how it works. So if I'm stuck in one possibility, it's this way or no way, going against nature. If I'm stuck blaming my husband or bank account for my stress, I'm going against nature, and that's why I'm struggling. My stress has nothing to do with the outside world. It's impossible for anything outside of me to get in me and create a feeling. Feelings are internally generated by thought. Neuroscience has proven that. Maybe we'll make that the topic of another video. So I just wanted to share my amusing conversation. It's just so totally liberating. It's total freedom when you realize you are 100% accountable for your experience in life. No president's going to save you. No husband's going to save you. No bank account is going to save you. And in fact, how has that path gone to try to control your circumstances in order to feel good, right? Impossible. So if you want to experience happiness in life, stop running after a Porsche, stop running after a certain level of savings, stop running after a perfect husband. Because even those things are fleeting. Husbands die, even really good ones. But your inner peace, your essence, it's an indestructible energy. It cannot be destroyed. It's always there. And your ability to fall back, to take a step back from thinking that was the source of stress, not husbands, right? And economies. Fall back to peace is infinite. You can touch it right now. It doesn't take decades of meditating. You can touch who you are right now. And in that space, be guided to safety, like shelter, that kind of safety. You will be guided. So that's my talk for the night. I am very much enjoying being in this space of happiness, independent of circumstance, of peace amidst total uncertainty and unknown. It's a great place to be. And I'm human too, and I forget sometimes, and I get caught up by the great illusion that's life, and I think I'm annoyed because the person in front of me is driving 15 miles an hour. And then I remember, love. Send them love. Thank you, being a beautiful angel, to remind me I'm the one creating my experience of stress, and I let it go. And I just sink into driving 15 miles an hour, right behind him, in gratitude that now I actually get to see my surroundings. I love you all. Definitely share your comments, what this brought up for you below, and feel free to ask me some questions. I'd love to do some Q&A videos in the future as well. I love you, beautiful. It's time for you to know the well-being that you are, and it's more accessible in a felt, real, lived way than you can imagine. It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't take a lot of esoteric practices. It's just about discovering the way life works and who you truly are. So if you're ready for that too, feel free to reach out. I'm here for you. I love you all. Take care and good night.